Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. We're already 6 days in. It's Epiphany, I believe. And here we are. I've been going to post a chat video or a visit video with you folks on ever since Christmas, really. But, holidays, boy, it becomes very busy very quickly. We know how that is. And as you can see the lights back there. I haven't taken down a single decoration yet. And I don't know. I kind of always hate taking down the tree. I enjoy it so much. And I might leave that another day or two. And then those lights back there behind the wood stove, the wood stove's actually burning, but you can't really tell from here. And there's so much ambiance in it. And I like to sit by those twinkle lights, especially early in the morning if I wake up really early and I can sit out there in the living room and write in my journal or do whatever. Why am I weird? I don't know why I'm talking with these glasses on, because I was taking some notes and that's why. Can't see without my cheaters. But anyway, so how did you bring in the new year? How's it going so far? It looks like it's going to be kind of a crazy year, doesn't it? I wound out the year doing galley edits for my book that's coming out this summer in May or June. I hear conflicting dates. I'm not really sure. I thought it was May, and now I see some dates on some things from the publisher that look like June, and I'm not really sure which is the actual date. I think on Amazon it says June, and this is for the book, The Girl from Tomorrow's Town, that I've talked about before. It's a circus story set during World War I. It's not a World War I story, however. It's a story about the Hagenbeck-Wallace circus train crash and how that affects some lives. And of course, it's fictional, but the crash is an actual event. So you might wonder, if you're not in the writing world or you don't hang out with a bunch of writers, what in the world are galley edits? And what that is we go through many rounds of editing when we publish a book. And first we do content edits, and then we do line edits, and then we do proofreads. And by the time we're done, we're just kind of like, oh, I'm so tired of this story. But by the time the galley edits come along, that's when the publisher, or if the person who is self-publishing, they have it all laid out to look like the actual book in that format. Everything's just about ready to go. And then the author is sent that copy, and it's not a hardback nowadays, it's online. And they send you the pages of what they look like. And I have to read through the story with a fine-tooth comb looking for anything that might have slipped the notice of all those editors and proofreaders and myself. And last-minute changes. And it's not the time for big edits. It's the time for, that word doesn't make sense there, or there's too many spaces, or not a comma, or, that line, we got to strike that line, or something like that. It's little things. And so I had galley edits, and they were due. I want to say I thought that they were due on the 1st. Turns out I got a message from the editor going, hey, just a reminder, your galley edits were due 2 days ago. And I was like, what? Thankfully, I was done, and I sent it to him right away. And it's going along swimmingly. Barbara's been a little behind, so I didn't have time to get my endorsements lined up, but that's okay. I have some people that are reading it, some writer friends who are hopefully going to tell me what they think. Maybe they'll send in some things that I can use to share with you. But anyway, that's how I wound out last year. And I'm going to put these back on. That's what galley edits are, and that's what I've been doing. And I'm really anxious to start or get back into the other book that I'm editing for you. And I want to get the second book out in August. And that book is a Revolutionary War story, because this year is the sesquicentennial, the 250th anniversary of our country, the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And my story is actually set in 1777, which is when that all actually started taking place and the war was getting a little more eruptive and stuff. And it's called Sibella's Stand. I don't have a cover yet. Hopefully, that'll be coming in the next month or two. And we'll see. Sign up for my newsletter. As far as other than that, I have another book that's coming out in November. And those are my goals as far as writing projects. Now, goals. Let's talk for a minute about goals. because in the new year, everybody makes resolutions, or a lot of people do anyhow, or people pick a word of the year. And I can't say I have done all those things. This year, I haven't picked a word of the year. I sort of did one. I sort of thought I did, but then I didn't. So if I change my mind, I'll let you know. But I don't make a lot of resolutions because, they're right for letdown. But goals are good. Maybe look back to last year. Do you even remember what your goals were, your resolutions? It's okay if you didn't crush your goals for 2025. That's okay. If you didn't read all the books you were going to read, or if you didn't clean all the drawers you were going to clean and sort through, or if you didn't paint the living room, or weed the flower bed on time. Now it doesn't even matter because everything's covered with snow and ice, right? If you didn't pay off the big, ugly debt that you really hoped to, you can keep trying. You didn't get in shape. Maybe you did. Maybe you crushed that goal. Not me. I have some notes. I read a list. Maybe you didn't write the memoir you were going to write, or keep the journal you were going to keep, or you didn't join the club. You didn't sing in the choir. You didn't do all the things that you wanted to do. And I'm just here to tell you today, that's okay. That's okay. If you didn't crush all those, it's okay. Our life is not going to be weighed by those kinds of accomplishments in the final wash. It's just not. Our life is going to be weighed by whether we trusted in the Lord with all our heart, soul, and might. But goals are still good, and they're even excellent. They give us a vision for the future, a direction. But I think we need to hold on to them kind of loosely, because even when we believe a goal is given by the Lord, sometimes God lays something on our hearts to aim for, to achieve. Even when that goal is, it doesn't mean necessarily that we're going to have huge success or something. I totally believe God put it on my heart to write these books. Not that they're inspired or something like that, but that He has guided my path. Does that mean they're all going to be published? Maybe not. Or these 3 this year are. But it's like, are future books coming? I don't know. Are ones that I've got planned and working on in my head, even the ones that are to be published this year, something could happen between now and then that totally changes that. And it doesn't mean I haven't had success. I'm doing what He's given my hands to do. And that's the main thing, is do what God gives your hands to do. Do it with all your might. Do it as unto the Lord, right? Is that what you guys do? It really takes away the feeling of the blows if you don't get it done, or you don't have great success, or you write your memoir and nobody reads it, whatever. So anyhow, that's kind of how it is for me this year. I was going to talk about a couple other things here. Let's see. Sometimes having goals is having the planning, having your life looking in a certain direction. Sometimes that is accomplishment enough, and it's satisfying. This year, you may have seen my short video I posted the other day. Jeff and I, our anniversary was on New Year's Eve. What were we thinking? But anyhow, we went this weekend to celebrate. We decided to take a drive, and it was part look for campgrounds for next summer, and it was part memory lane. We drove over to the town we used to live in, and we lived there when we were first married. So we're talking 45 years ago. And visited and looked around and saw the houses that we used to live in, and drove up and down the roads wondering, why did we never take advantage of this thing? Or why did we never take advantage of that thing? It was there long ago. It was on the shores of Lake Superior. There were great beaches. We didn't really go to them. We weren't doing those things then. We were in a different phase of life. We were in college. And I left my coffee cup in the living room, and I'm going to go get it. Be right back. I'm like, what do I want to sip on? I want my coffee, and I left it sitting on the wood stove to keep warm. It's hot. It's hot now. The other day, it was so cold in my house, I just walked around like this, holding on to a hot coffee cup. But There's the fact that we went and looked for campgrounds while we were on this little excursion was part of our goals, where we want to go camping next summer, and what we want to do while we're camping, what kind of places we want to visit, what kind of activities we want to do. You know, we're going to go fishing here, we're going to go kayaking there, you know, we're going to check out this little hole in the wall place or that sea cave or whatever. And having those goals in itself felt good. I need goals really badly. Even if I don't crush them, really, I shrug that stuff off. But speaking of goals, I got to tell you guys something that made me want to post this little video before it was too late. Ever since I've been gardening for decades now, I look for ways to store carrots. Now, I can a lot of carrots, as you probably know if you've been hanging with me. I can a lot of carrots, but I like to keep some fresh ones. And I remember some years back, it was quite a few years ago, it was probably 15 years ago, in trying different ways to store carrots, I did the thing where I filled some clean new garbage can up with sand that I got at a local sand pit. And I put the carrots in there in layers after they were dug up, put them in there in layers, kind of like so they would have an effect like in a root cellar type of thing. I kept them in my basement. My basement is kind of root cellarish, sort of. It's dark down there. There's not windows. It's stone walls. It's kind of the right humidity level. And I can store some things down there for a little while. In fact, I still have 5 little pie pumpkins down there, which I have to take care of. And anyway, I've done that. But, you know, the carrots, you dig about as you need them, and they're kind of rubbery, and they just didn't last. You know, by Christmas time, they were rubbery. And I do not live in a climate where, you know, some of you can probably leave the carrots right in the ground, maybe put a bale of straw over them and go out there and fold it back when you want to dig out a carrot, or heap something else around them to keep them warm, to keep the ground from freezing there, and you can harvest carrots during the winter. That is never going to happen in zone 3 or 4. And it doesn't work. I've tried multiple ways of doing these sorts of things. So I've decided, well, I'm just going to keep a few out in my refrigerator, right? And I have done that. I've kept a few out in the refrigerator and used them up, mostly canned them though, and froze some. This year, I did keep them in my refrigerator again, but with a twist. This is what's left of this year's carrots. You know, I don't know, there's probably 1.5 pounds of carrots in there or something. Little, not very big ones. They're the nice size where I don't have to cut them up. We can just eat them, you know, like finger candy. Put them in my husband's lunch. Now the deal with these carrots is this. I did keep at least 10 pounds in my refrigerator. There was at least 10 pounds down in my bottom of my refrigerator. But notice how I'm keeping them. First of all, when I brought them in, I washed them really well. I took my little hand scrub brush. I washed them really well, right? And cleaned them. And then I had one of them sack dish towels like these. These are all full of stains because I've had them for so many years and I use them for all this kind of stuff. Spread them out on there, dried them really well. Let them sit and dry, rolled them around in there till they were nice and dry. Then I bagged them up. And because there's still humidity and moisture in these little guys, I took a paper towel. This one's not too damp, but you can see that there's humidity in this bag yet. And anyhow, I'm going to put a clean one in. Oh, look at that last one on the holder. That holder, by the way, is an old ice carrier from back in the day. Anyhow, I put a paper towel in there just to absorb some of the moisture that's going to come along. So I'm putting dry carrots in the bag with a paper towel to collect any excess moisture. And I zip it up tight. There's not air holes in it. I keep it nice and airtight. And that is the key to keeping your carrots fresh. Now I want you to notice something. We are now January 6th. And this carrot is just as firm as it ever was. It's just as firm as the day I pulled it out of the ground. Keeps super well. And 10 pounds of carrots, yeah, it takes up a side of the bottom of your refrigerator. Might have even been more than that, but it's not. Here's a little bitty one. You hear that, Chris? No, I shouldn't chew in your ears. I'll back up. They're still sweet. They're still crispy. And now I know I can keep carrots in my refrigerator. I'm sure these still, we'll probably have them gone in another couple of weeks, but I'm sure they'd keep till the end of January. That is awesome. In northern Wisconsin in winter to be eating garden carrots. And the reason, I've been on this thing the last few weeks, like you guys probably are. You want salad, you want to throw stuff away. That's the post-Christmas thing that people do, right? You want salad, you need greens, your body's saying vegetables after all the goodies, and you want to throw stuff away. So I knew I'd be eating a lot of carrots because I've been cleaning up lettuce and making salads like crazy. And I like to keep a big bowl of salad right in the refrigerator so I can eat it up anytime I want. And I thought, I got to tell you guys about this before I eat up all my carrots. So anyway, I'll chew these up. Get out of your face. So starting out the year with garden fresh produce. I still have those pumpkins downstairs to do. I think I'm going to do that this week. My grandkids, a couple of them are coming over, a few of them, 5 of them, 4 of them, 5 of them are coming over sometime this afternoon. Mom and Dad are heading off to Texas to a big hunting event show for their deer farm and deer hunting preserve that they operate. And so a bunch of the kids are going to stay here for a day or two, and then they're going to go to their other grandparents' house for a few days, and then they're going to come back here for a couple of days. Their parents will be gone for like a week, so we get to play and we get to have fun. And I wanted to make sure I got this out before then. Let's see. What else? Other topic I wanted to talk about. In thinking about my grandkids, yours and you and me, I've noticed a lot of changes going on in the world with 2026 here. Obviously, probably have too. And one of them is a big lack of discernment, both in the world and in the church. And pray about that, because what I feel is that most people think that they're discerning. We all think, I use discernment. I'm a discerning individual. But when we look at a lot of either choices people make, or when we look at a lot of things that are going on out there, I don't see a lot of discernment, and I see less and less. And I see churches even fracturing into different weird directions, not being very discerning. So I guess if I did choose a word this year, I would have to say that's what it was. It was discernment. I think that's a great word to start out the year. You can use it if you want to. If you want a word for the year, discernment's a good word. Discernment and going forward, bearing precious seed. And I'm not talking about carrot seeds. I'm talking about the Word of God. Spreading the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And whatever else you'll be doing. Playing with your grandkids. Writing. I'll be writing books. And I hope that you have a really, really great new year. And we'll see you sooner rather than later. I'm going to get back on track here. And that's all I got to chat about today. That's, I guess, it. I'm going to go on with some sorting here because I'm, that whole throwing away, eating salad thing. I'm sorting through Tupperware cupboard to the right of me. I'm not going to show you. My counter is strewn with piles of Tupperware that I need to sort through. My daughter will be really happy about that. And sorting through some other stuff and maybe taking down some little decorations today, some of the excess Christmas lights. I'll show you which ones I'm going to start with. Hold on. There they go. Those ones up there. I love those lights. They're really long. They go the whole upper length of my kitchen up there. And they're like marquee lights almost. Gonna take those down, take down my little tabletop trees that we have, and take down some things that are hanging in the windows. And I'm gonna leave those twinkle lights back over there though, because we still have a lot of northern Wisconsin darkness to get through this year. But anyhow, I digress. I'm gonna let you go. You guys have a great week, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.